All right, welcome back. We are now in the beginning chapters of Moses, the beginning of the story of Moses. Okay, now we left off where God was talking to Moses and telling Moses to go into Egypt and to deal with Pharaoh. On the one side, deal with Pharaoh. On the other side, deal with the children of Israel and let them know he's coming and what's about to happen. You know what I mean? And Moses had questions like, well, what do I say? And what should I do and stuff? And at one point, we left off with Moses saying that I'm not a great speaker, Lord. I don't have no great words and all these different things. And you know what I mean? I'm slow of speech. Now, before we go into it, I want to address something real quickly. In most churches, especially Baptist and Pentecostal churches in the world, especially in the United States in these modern times, I don't know how many churches say that because of this statement Moses made to the Lord that I'm slow of speech, they turned it into Moses is a stutterer. I don't know where they got that from. You know what I mean? I don't know why they came up with that he's a stutterer. He just said that he was slow of speech. Okay? But they turned it into he's a stutterer. And once a few churches caught on to it, it became the term, which is the way churches and church business usually goes. That's the way it usually go. Okay? Especially if it's something that's not in the Bible. The Nephilim and all these different things and stories and weird things. Once somebody catch on to it, and a few, like 100 years or whatever, they catch on to it and it becomes a thing, that becomes now the thing. And he was a stutterer. Well, first of all, I'm going to dispute that or knock that whole little theory right out of the box, as I usually do when it comes to the Holy Bible, because that's what I'm teaching you what really happened. Okay? Now, they say that he's a stutterer, right? Okay. I'm going to go up now to the book of Acts in the New Testament, and there's something talking about Moses and the way he spoke. I'll read it to you right now. This is in Acts, the book of Acts, chapter 22. When it came to pass, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for. And they're always talking about. It gives a real quick. Paul addressing Israel and reminding them some things that happened way back with Moses. I said 22. I'll go up to 20. In which time Moses was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up into his father's house for 3 months, as we know. And when it came and he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. We know that. And Moses was, here it is. And this is for Moses now living in Egypt, grown up. Prince of Egypt. It says here, and Moses was learned in all wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and in deeds. He was mighty in words and in deeds. So he was not a stutterer. That's the first thing. And then you put another part of this. He is the prince, in Egypt's case, he would be the prince of Egypt. You think that they would want a stutterer to be representing them with countries and things all around the world, considering at this time they are probably the top country of the world at this time? Do you think they're going to have a stutter representing them? But forget that. That's just common sense. Let's go with the Bible says here. And where Moses was learned in all wisdom and of all the Egyptians. He was mighty in words and in deeds. So the whole little stutter thing, that's the end of that. That's the end of that, baby. And that's why you know what really happened. Stutter. Gosh. Oh. Okay, so now we go back to Exodus chapter 4, where Moses is talking to our Father. Okay, and he says, and furthermore, before I go on, wait a minute. Moses is talking to the God of all creation. So he's not going to be, well, yeah, Father. I mean, yeah. He is so humbled by all of this. It's like, he even said, why will you pick me? I'm just a man, a person. Why would you want me to do all these things? You're a God who created stars and moon and oceans and all. Why me? So you have to take those things into consideration. And if you worship God a certain kind of way, you automatically take those things in kind of consideration because you're dealing with him and you're in him, in his presence, and talking to him a lot and all that, so that you'll understand that. All right. Anyway. All right. So now, I am of slow speech and of a slow tongue. Okay. And then when he said that, the Lord said this to him, to Moses, as a response. I'll read what Moses said about this stutterer. Stutterer. Instead, what Moses said about this, he said, and Moses said unto the Lord, I am not eloquent, neither therefore, nor sent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant. But I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And this is what the Lord responded. And the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? I could say, whoop, and all of a sudden you could be speaking better than everybody on this earth, better than Shakespeare. So, come on now. Anyway. Therefore now go, and I will be with your mouth. Whoa, there's even more. I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall say. Stutter, done. And the Father says, and Moses says, oh my Lord, send thee, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. And then the Lord was getting angry. The Lord got a little angry. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, is it not Arron the Levite? Levite. Remember that term. Moses comes from Levi, the 12 brothers. One brother whose name was Levi. Okay. And when a video way back, and in one of the other videos, I told you about how the Levites, and we're going to read it. We're going to see it big time now. We're going to see it all everywhere here in this story, where when the 12 tribes were doing things, the Levites weren't allowed to do certain things that the other 11 were allowed to do. The Levites were only in charge of dealing with God's business and his business alone, dealing with the Ark of the Covenant, dealing with all the major things that had to do with God himself. The Levites were only allowed to do those things. Everybody else, the other 11 brothers, they did other things, all the other stuff. There was a war, for example. The other 11 brothers went and fought the war. The Levites weren't allowed. They were only allowed to deal with the Lord's business. All right. So Arron, Moses' brother, was a Levite. And he said unto him, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses because Moses kept trying to come up with excuses why he didn't. You sure you want me to do this? And I don't know if I want to do this. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he says, is not Arron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he come forth to meet you. And when he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him and put the words in his mouth. And I will be with your mouth and with his mouth. And I will teach you what you shall do. And And he shall be, and it goes on. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people. And he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth. And thou shalt be unto him instead of God. In other words, he will do all the stuff. You'll be like the God to everything. And he'll do all the little stuff dealing with the people and Pharaoh and this and the other. Okay. And Moses went and returned to Jethro. I'm sorry, I missed a verse. And thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do these signs. Okay, the rod that he put on the ground and turned into a snake, and Moses ran. And Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said unto Moses, Go in peace, my brother, go in peace. And the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men that are dead that sought your life, they're all, the ones that sought your life, they're all dead now. Because Pharaoh, that batch of Pharaoh and all them, that first batch, they all died. And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand, the rod. And the Lord said unto Moses, When thou goest and return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand. But I will hearken his heart, and he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Oh, yeah. All right. And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Okay. Moses was unsure about all of this, and he was procrastinating. Now remember way back with Abraham, and the Lord told Abraham, take your son, your firstborn son. I want you to take him to a special spot. I want you to kill him, cut him into pieces, and sacrifice him unto me. And Abraham said, oh. And Abraham was gone. The very next day, the Bible says he had the boy ready, the men ready, the camels ready, sacrifice ready, and off that very next day. And I said to you, most men wouldn't have been able to do that. No. No, you were not taking your little child at that little young age and killing it and cutting it up. You would have waited and hemmed and hawed and tried to get the Lord to change his mind, and you would have been frustrated and depressed and everything, trying to wait and wait. 1 week, one couple of days turned into a week turned into a couple of months. That's what Moses was doing here. And it came to pass in the way of the inn that the Lord met him, Moses, and sought to kill him because he was taking his time about going to take care of this business. Then Zipporah, Moses' wife, took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it to her feet and said, surely you are a bloody husband to me, that thou art unto me. So he let him go and said, so he let him go, and she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. Okay. And the Lord said unto Arron, Moses' brother, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went, and he met him in the mount of God and kissed him. And Moses told Arron all the words of the Lord who sent him, and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Moses and Arron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. Now they're going down there and now here they are dealing with the elders of Israel. Okay, y'all, this is what the Lord sent me to do. This is what he want me to say to you guys, and this is what we're about to do. And Aaron spake all these words of the Lord, which the Lord had spoken unto Moses. And he did the signs in sight of the people. He showed, in other words, Aaron was being the voice and telling, we're dealing with not Egypt and Pharaoh and them yet. These were the children of Israel, the elders. And this is what we're doing. This is what we got to do. You know what I mean? This is the staff. This is what it can do. You know what I mean? And Aaron's doing the speaking. Okay. All right. And all the people believed. And when they heard that the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that they had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshiped. So we're going to stop right here and go into part 3 of this thing. And this is juicy from, like I said, from here all the way to probably to the end of the Bible. These various stories are going to be happening. Whoa. Okay, so enjoy. Okay, put your comments below if you have any questions or whatever. But I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying these stories. And like I said earlier, I hope that you people out there are saying, you know what, I didn't know that happened. What? This is what happened. Or that's how that happened. Oh, I get it now. That's what I'm hoping. Okay. All right. Take care. I'll see you again. Be ready for the next video coming up in 1 minute.